So today I wanted to talk about flag polling, and it can be a very risky process. But for some reason, I've seen people on the internet advising it or suggesting it as it's a piece of cake, and you can just go there, and there are no consequences, and things can actually go south, especially for the people on a visitor status, for example, and they're trying to apply for an LMI. So in one particular case, the person had an LMI approval. It was a positive. They, instead of waiting for IRCC to give a decision, they just decided to go to a CBSA officer. You need to understand the difference between IRCC and CBSA. It is not IRCC which only deals with immigration. CBSA deals with security. It's a border security. They filter out people, and they scan people just so they could find something. And in my opinion, and again it's my opinion, so there is that kind of a mindset. For example, if you live among the people who are detectives, you become a detective somewhat, not saying entirely, but somewhat. Your mind operates in that sense. So similarly, it's CBSA. They are always trying to find something. So in this case, the question was raised by the CBSA officer to the person that your intention might be different. You might have lied to us on your application. I want to see some proofs. The person was confident at this point, okay, there's nothing to hide. They possibly can't put me in a situation where I do not have an answer. So the first thing the CBSA officer asked the person was, okay, were you working? So in reality, the person was on a visitor visa. They were not supposed to work. The person was actually working, and they were being paid under the table. Now, you would think, okay, I have worked secretly, nobody would know. But what ended up happening was the officer, although there are some limitation or restrictions to what they can do, but not everybody is familiar with what their rights are and what and where they can say no to an officer. So the officer asked the person to open up their bank account on the phone, so they can just have a look. In most cases, they can only look into things on your phone, so it has to be on your phone without the internet. And banking is something that you use with the internet, right? So when the person opened the app, officer could see there were some deposits. And now the question was, where did you get this money from? Now the person got stuck. They did not have an answer. So the officer posed that, okay, I know you've been working. Just tell me and I'll let you go. This is how they operate. This is how they work. They'll just say, okay, tell the truth. I'll let you go. The person initially declined for a few times. Oh no, I got money from a friend, from a local community. They were helping me and this and that. And officers are trained in this, so they know how to keep pushing people until they get the answer they want. So they kept pushing him. Okay, you're still lying. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Please tell me what this money is for and how did you get it. So eventually the person gave in. They mentioned that, okay, I was working, but I can't give you the name of the employer. But like you said, if I tell you, you'll let me go. The officer said, okay, give me 5 minutes. He went in and then came out with your application is refused. Along with that, I'm taking your passport away. Now, this can also happen. So for someone who thinks, okay, this is just piece of cake, you can just go there and nothing happens, things can turn south. You just need to know that whether it is in your favor or not, the things you're doing. Before you go to an officer, you know what your situation is and whether you would fall into any kind of problem or not. And additionally, for people who want to apply for a post graduation work permit, for them, I do not personally think it makes sense, because given that any additional time the RCC takes to process your application, that is the additional time that you have. So let's say you apply for your post graduation work permit and IRCC takes 6 months to process. So those 6 months, while you are on implied status, when you work, that work experience can be counted towards your eligibility for your PR. So effectively it becomes 3.5 year of work permit for people who have studied in Canada for 2 years, and for people who have only studied for 1 year, you get 1 year of work permit and additional 6 months that IRCC took to process your application. So let's say 1 year of work experience is enough to give you the points to apply for your PR. So you completed that mark within 6 months of having your work permit, 6 months before plus 6 months within the work permit duration. So you have a buffer of 6 months just in case draws are not happening that frequent. You can wait for 6 additional months. So this is something that works in your favor. And personally, I don't feel there is any need for you to go to the border and get the permit right away. I mean, you can work, so why bother? Why do you need to get your work permit right away? Doesn't make sense. So, just wanted to share because some people have these ideas, the notions that this is no different. You can just go to any CBSA officer and get the work permit. So, this is something you should not take it lightly. Think about it and only go if you feel that there's nothing the officer can trap you on or get out of you, and you have nothing to hide, and it's going to be smooth, then yes, for sure. But otherwise, I don't think it is for anyone and everyone. Only for people who feel that okay, they really need to go and they have been suggested and or advised by their immigration consultants or lawyers. Only in that case. Otherwise, I would say stay away from going to border and doing the flag polling. Hopefully this helps. See you next time.